This could be a great regression system if you get the rolls that you want. Of course, there's always that if when it comes to craps. Hey guys, welcome to Mark the Point. I've got another fun video here for you today. In this style of play, basically what we're going to do is we're actually going to start off with 160 across. Okay, so a little bit higher end, go hitting all the box numbers. The goal here is you got to have 4 hits. If you get 4 hits, essentially what we're going to be doing, we're going to get a hit and regress that bet back down to base. The assumption here is we're going to play at a $10 level, $10 table. That way on our regression part, it will go down to $10. And then once we get 4 hits, that's all it takes. Everything is going to be at a $10 level if it's at that point. Okay, let me give you a couple of examples here. We're going to call the first one a 5. By the way, the 4 and 10 will be buy bets, so understand these will call for buy bets, and you'd have to pay for the VIG. Let's say a 5 is going to pay $35. So essentially the system that we're going to do, if it gets hit, we're going to rack the $50. That'll go to your rack and drop it down to a base level, which is $10. Let's do it again. Let's call it on the 6. If it pays, it'll pay $35. Essentially, you're going to take this whole bet and go back to your rack of $55. Just go and drop down $2 to make it a $12 bet. Just easier for the dealer that way. Let's take it one more hit. So we'll call it a 9. If we get a 9, again, you're going to take the $10, put it and place it, and put the $50 in your rack. On our 4th hit, if we happen to get 4 hits, and it doesn't matter which one it is, let's just say it's back on the 5. That 5 is a $10 bet. It'll pay us 15 for 1 or $14. Now, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to take all your bets down to base level at this point in time, okay? So everything here is going to go back down to base level, and let's go ahead and show you what that looks like here, and let's go ahead and drop down to $2 here. So now you have this going back to your rack. Everything is back to your rack. You have 64 across. At this point in time, you can do anything you want to. You can go light side to dark side if you want to. You could play some come bets. You have so many options of how you want to roll this out. We're going to go ahead and roll this out. Again, I may do some variations throughout the system. This is the baseline. This is what I want to do. All right, guys, let's roll it out. Again, I want to show you some different options that you have and how we can play the system. All right, stay tuned and let's roll with it. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to start off a $1,000 bankroll. So this would be our initial setup. $1,000, 160 across. Let's get a come out roll and let's get a point established. Now, if you haven't already, please take the time. If you haven't joined the team, please subscribe to the channel. We've been growing. We've had a great 6 months since we started. Let's keep the channel rolling, and I hope you enjoy the content. If you wouldn't mind, hit a like, subscribe, and a notification bell. All right, here we go, guys. That is a Yo 11. That's a 6-5 11. No help to us. We do not play the come out. We do not play the pass line, so no pass line bet here. All right, that's going to be on the 9. That's our point. That's a 5-4-9. So again, we're going to drop the dealer 160. So it'll be 160 across. So that is green level chips on every level. And you're going to buy the 4 and 10. That would cost you an extra $1 each at the casino. We are not going to play the VIGs here just because I don't have to do it. Every time I pull it down, I got to give back $1, do $1. I'm not worried about it. So as long as you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Let's roll with it. All right, let's go, shooter. All right, it's going to be a 6. That's a 5-1-6. That's a $30 bet. That's going to pay us $35. So we're going to take this down to $10 bets. Okay. We're going to drop the $55 back into our rack. And then we're going to give the dealer $2 to make it a good bet, sitting at $12. Again, you want even numbers of 6, divisible by 6. Anytime you do a 6 and 8, you want a multiplication, divisible, whatever you want to call it, of a 6. All right, here we go. That is snake eyes. That's the dots in only 2 spots. All right, perfect. There's a hard 6, okay? So that's a hard 6. That's a $12 bet. That's going to pay us $14. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and press it. 10, 11, 12, let's do it. $10, $14. Let's just press it 2 units, okay? Again, the goal is to get the other units. We're going to press this 2 units to a $24 bet. We're going to rack the 2 ones and put them right there into the rack. Here we go. Oh, and there's a 7 out. So we did not get 4 hits. That is the goal. We got to hit 4 hits. If you don't, it's super vulnerable, guys. If that's what you want to do, this is not the system for you. So again, you're looking for 4 hits. In this case, we did not get it. Let's turn the point off, and let's try to get a new point established. All right, it's going to be, there you go. There's another 9 back on the 9. So let's mark the point. Again, drop another 160, go all the way across. And we are covering our box number 9. Again, we are not playing the pass line. So you'll see our box number here. We are playing it. And so you see no pass line. Again, we don't roll it that way. That is a 4. That is a 3-1-4. That's great. Again, this is a $25 bet. That $25 bet is going to pay us $50. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go and just rack the whole $50 and say, and give them $10. Say, place my 4 for $10. So that's that regression portion. Hit, regress, rack. Perfect, just like that. All right, there's a hard 8. That's beautiful. That's the square pair. That's a $30 bet. That 30 is going to pay $35. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take the $55. We're going to place the $10, put this 55 back into the rack, and let's go and drop 2 more for the dealer to make it a $12 bet. Right, let's go, shooter. All right, that's a mid-mo Chiro. That's a mid-mo yo. There's boxcars 12. That's see a horn, bet a horn. That's 2 in a row. Can we get a third? Oh, we do not. That is a 4, though. That's a easy 4. So that's a $10 bet. That's going to pay us $18. So $18. Let's do a simple press. Let's go ahead and press it $15. Let's make that a quarter. We could rack the $3. Let's go ahead and exchange that out. So now we got another $25 bet on the 4, and that's hit number 2. So again, we're looking for 2 more hits. There's a 9. That's our point. That's great. Okay, so $25 9 is going to pay us $35. All right, so what are we going to do? Take it all the way down to a $10 bet, put the $50 back into our rack. Let's turn the point off. 1 more hit, guys. That's all we're looking for. 1 more hit. And there's a 7. That's a great time to hit it. That's a frontline winner. The puck is off. That's the time to hit a 7. And there's an 8. Okay, so our point is going to be on the 8. Let's mark it up. All right, let's go, shooter. As right back on the 8. There we go. Okay, so that's a $12 bet. That's going to pay us 15 for 1. So let's go ahead and do that. Pay it 15 for 1. And now 4 hits, take everything back down. So we're going to take everything back down to base level. So let's pull all the quarters back. All quarters back. Boom, boom. That is already pressed up. You could do it either way. Since it's already pressed up, you can leave it. It's totally up to you. I'm probably going to go ahead and pull it down to make it a 64 across. So let's go ahead and do that. And because that is the original idea, to make it go from 160, 64 across, and just kind of roll it out from there. So we're going to take this back to the rack. So that's perfect. And now we are ready to roll. That is our point. So let's go ahead and turn off the point, and let's get another one established. Here we go. There's an 8. That's a 6-2-8. So now here's kind of the second part of it. The second part of this system is, what are you going to do next? Okay, you've got money into your rack. You got a $64 bet. How are you going to press it? So here's what I'm going to do. The first time I'm going to try to do a press. The second time I'm going to do like a light side to dark side. So let's do that. So hang around for a light side to dark side system that's incorporated into this. That's perfect. That's a 6-2-8. That's going to pay us 15 for 1. So let's go ahead and do that now. 15 for 1. And what we can do is we can go ahead and drop down $3. Let's go ahead and power press this one, okay? If you power press this, drop down $3, that makes that a $30 bet. So that's going to look just like this right here. So now you have a nice $30 bet sitting on your 8, and you're ready to roll for another hit. Great job, shooter. That is our point. Let's go ahead and turn off the point. All right. Oh, wow. Back on the 8. That's another 5-3-8. Let's mark it up. All right, let's go, shooter. Here we go. There's a 6. That's a 5-1-6. So we did a power press on this one. Let's collect this one. It's gonna pay $14. We're gonna call it 15 for 1. So let's go ahead and take that $15 right into the rack. Again, you always want to make sure you're plentiful in your rack. Make money come back to your rack as much as possible, because at any point in time, Big Red is gonna be there to get it from you. So and that's exactly what just happened. So we hit a Big Red there. So we're gonna pull everything here back. So all this comes back. Let's turn our point off, and let's get another one established. Here we go. All right, that's going to be a 4. The point's going to be on the 4. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and drop down another easy 160. Boop, there we go. Perfect, just like that. So let's make sure they're all square. Again, these are buy bets on the 4 and 10. No field, no come bets, just This is straight up system 160 across, and then we can kind of change it up as we go, as we get farther into the system, which we're going to show hopefully. Hopefully we can get to that point. There's a 9. That's a 639. That's going to pay us $35. Let's take it down to base level of $10, and let's take that $50 and go right back to the rack, just like that. There's a 5. That's great. That's a 325. That's going to pay a $5 bet, $25 bet. It's going to pay us $35. Again, drop it down to $10 base bet and put the rest of it back into the rack. That's 2 hits. Looking for 2 more. There's another 5. Okay, that's great. So that's a $10 bet. That's going to pay us, let's go ahead and pay it 14. That's going to pay us $14. Get some 1s back into our rack. And we're going to go ahead and leave that one as is. We're going to, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's press it a little bit. Let's do it. Let's go and press it 2 units. So that's down to a $20 bet now. All right, there's an 8. That's beautiful, guys. That is our 4th hit. That's going to pay us $35, okay? So again, we're going to drop down to 10, pull the 55 back into your rack, okay? And now this is the time we put everything back, take all the green chips level, go all the way back down to 64 across. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And let's drop down $10 for the 10. Let's drop down $2 for the 8. And let's do that for the 6 as well. The dealer does this much smoother when I'm doing. You can tell them what you want. All you gotta do is say, "Hey, take me down to 64 across," and they can make it work just as pretty. I'm not that pretty about it. So here we are. We're at 64 across. Let's do something a little bit different. Like I said, we're gonna go light side to dark side this time. So essentially, any hit we're gonna get, we're gonna put it into a don't come bar or don't come bet, and then now we're gonna travel. So now we're gonna play a little bit of light side, playing a little dark side. Let's try it. All right, there's a Midmo Chiro, 6'5", 11. All right, there's a 6. That's great. That's a hard 6. So what we're going to do, that's going to pay 15 for 1, okay? 15 for 1, so let's pull the 1 back. So here, this here is now going to travel to the don't come bet, okay? Travel to the don't come bet, that's the goal. That's what we're going to do. So let's try it. Light side to dark side. That's a great one, okay? So let me show you how this is going to work. This is going to travel to the don't come of the 10, the back side of the 10. That's a $10 bet. That's going to pay us $18. So now we're going to take the 18 and take it all the way back to the rack. So now we have light side to dark side. Let's do that again. Now, I know I just put the $18 in the rack. Essentially, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take 15 of it, and I'm going to put it back into don't come. That way we can have our next travel. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I shouldn't have put that into the rack. It should have just been an $18 bet, and there's a 7. Oh, not a great time to hit it because basically what happens here is this is going to be a wash. We'll lose this, okay? We'll win this. So that's a wash, so that'll go back to your rack. But we lose all this right here. So a little bit of dark side didn't really help us that much because our it hit when we were in the come bet, or it hit when we were in the don't come bet, excuse me. And now this can go back to your rack. We're set up. We're ready for a new shooter. Let's turn the puck off. Here we go. What we got here? There's a 10. So the point's going to be on the 10. Let's mark the point. All right, shooter. I love this regression system, by the way. Absolutely love it. So we're going all the way across 160. It's a nice little hitting down. You see we're actually still in, we're still basically break even. We've hit a couple hits. We've hit a couple 7s outs. And yet we're still making money. I love it. Here we go. All right, this is going to be on the 5. That's a 325. That's going to pay us $35, okay? So let's go down the base bet of 10. Now, if you are playing on a $15 level, you would have to probably drop an additional 5 or say, take me down to $15. But even so, today we're calling it a $10 bet. Here we go. Next hit. There's a 6. That's a hard 6. That's going to pay another $35, okay? So we're going to drop down 2 because we know it's going to be a $12 bet. And we take that $55 and go right back to the rack. Just like that. Oh, did that one backwards. There we go. All right, here we go, shooter. Line it up a little bit. Get 2 more hits. And there's a 3. That's a 3 craps 3. See a horn, bet a horn. Oh, that's a 9. All right, that's great. That's hit number 3. That's going to pay us $35. That's a $25 bet. Go down to base level of 10. Put the $50 back into the rack. One more hit. That's what we're looking for, guys. One more hit. That's an 8. That's great. It couldn't have asked for any better time to hit it. That is a $35 payment. We're going to go down the base on everything now, right? So everything goes back down to base. Everything goes back down to a green chip level. So let's go ahead and drop down what we need to. So we know we need $10 on every bet. And then we know we need $12 for the 6 and 8. So make sure that's good. And this money is coming back to your rack. Boom. Look at this, guys. Look at the green coming back to the rack. Again, we started with 1,000. I can already tell we're up. We got a nice $64 bet working for us. Now, a while ago, we did not do too great on our light to dark. I want to try it out again just to show you how that can develop out. There's a 6. That's going to be a 4-2-6. So that's going to pay us 15 for 1. Let's go ahead and do that. Pay us 15 for 1. And now that $15 is going to go right there to the don't come. Okay, let's do it. There's another 6. That's going to be another hard 6. That's great. So what we're going to do here, let's go ahead and pay it out 14 since we don't have any ones. That's going to pay us $14. Okay. Then now this don't come will travel to the back of the 6. And then we can actually replenish our 6. So you can do it with a $10 bet here, or you could do it with an initial bet of the 15. That was the winnings. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and make it $15. Go into the don't come. That was your winnings for that shooter or for that point, and let it travel. There's a 3. That's great, guys, because in a don't come bet, if you hit a 3, that is going to pay you. It'll pay you $15 even odds, so that's going to go right back to the rack, and it stays there. Let's get another one. Oh, well, easy come, easy go. That's a yo 11, so we will lose this guy. So we would lose this one. If you want to go ahead and replace it, you can go ahead and replace it back since you did have a win a while ago. All right, here we go. There's a 6. Oh, so we knocked off our point. Okay, so that's bad here because you lose this. You lose your dark side, but this will travel. Uh-oh, let's do that again. There we go. This will travel to the 6. And now we're ready to set up for another one. Because we've already lost that money, I'm not going to feed the don't come. We'll do it on the next one. All right, it's going to be on the 5. There you go. That's a 4-1-5. So that's going to pay us 15 for 1. It's a $10 bet. Oh, 15 for 1 this way. And now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to take that $15 and go right to the don't come. Just like that. There's a 6. Man, we are knocking off our dark side point, guys. We lose this. This travels to the 6. That's already twice we've hit that now. Not showing the best example there, right? Let's do it again. And there's an 8. It's got a good roll. It's just knocking off our point. All right, here we go. That's going to pay us, let's do it again, 15 for 1. Okay, it pays us $14. So let's move this here. And now we're going to take that $15, go right to the don't come. And there's a 5. All right, there we go. That's great. So that's going to pay us $15. Okay, pays us 15. This here is going to travel back here, 15 for 1. And now this here is going to go to the don't come. So now you have 2 DC bets placed, which is great. Okay, guys, I just noticed that I did not pull down my 5, and I had the DC bet here. I know I paid myself, I didn't pull it down, but I do have an open 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to move my 5 over to the 6 and put a bet there and go and drop down $2 to make it a good bet. So again, now I have a DC. I didn't realize I didn't pull it down, and I also have a don't come bet, and so now we're ready to work it. Here we go. All right, there's going to be on the 8. Here we go. That's an 8. So that's going to be a $15 bet. So this will travel to the back. Will pay us 15 for 1. And I don't have any 1, so let's do it 14 then. I'll pay us $14. Okay. And now, again, we're going to take 15 of it and go to the don't come. And we can pull the rest of it back to the rack. Just like that. All right, here we go. This is a DC bet. So we got 2 DC bets working for us. Never want more than 3. It's the ideal is to never have more than 3. Otherwise, you're knocking off more points than you're getting. All right, that's snake eyes. That's great because on a don't come bar, you get even bet. So now it goes back to the rack. And it's gone to 4. That's a great place for it to go. So it travels to the back of the 4. Again, that's a $10 bet. That's going to pay $18. So let's go ahead and pay it out. Now, here's what we got. We got 3 DC bets. We got 3 place bets. This money is going to come all the way back to the rack, and we are not going to replace it. Okay, no more here. Not unless, because at that point in time, you're going to start knocking them off. 3 DCs, three place bets, and we're ready to roll. And there's a 9. All right, there we go. So that 9's going to pay us. It's going to pay us 15 for 1. So let's go ahead and do this because we haven't really been collecting a lot. Let's go ahead and collect that 15 right here, and we're going to leave it there. Leave it there at $10 bet. There's a 6. All right. Ooh, let's pull that over. So that helped us out when we moved over to the 5, because now that what that is a $12 bet. That's going to pay us 15 for 1. Now let's go ahead and power press it. So it's going to pay us 15 for 1, okay? But you're going to drop down an additional $3, and when you do that, that takes it all the way up to a $30 bet. So let's go ahead and replace it back to a $30 bet, and now you're ready to roll just like that. All right, let's go, shooter. Let's make some money. There's a 10. That's finally our point. All right. That's a good roll here, shooter. So that's going to pay us $18. Okay, $18. We could press it if we want to. We can make it 25. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's make it 25. Again, that's going to be a buy bet. This comes back. This goes back to the rack, and we're ready to turn off the point. And we're ready to roll. Remember, your DC bets are working when the point is off. They're always working. And that's going to be a 7. All right. That's great, guys. A 7 on the come out roll helps us here. So that's going to pay us on every one of these. So that's a $15 bet. So that's 15, 15, and 15. So all these come back down, and they all come back to your rack. And look at this, guys. Look at this big payday right here. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. All this money. I can't even keep it in there at the same time. Boom, boom, and boom. Here we go. I tell you what I'm going to do. Because I've already settled our bets, the point is off, I'm going to pull this down, and let's go ahead and round out and see how we end up doing. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So we know we start off with 1,000. So that's 400. That is 500. And this is 500, so that makes it 1,000. So this is our initial bankroll. All right, so let's count the rest of it. That's 100. That's 200. That's 300. 350. 375. 380, 395, 397. So 397. We made $397, guys. Not a bad system. Again, we did it a couple different ways. We had a regression system from 160 down to 64 across. We did a little bit of pressing on the first roll. The second roll, we did a little bit of the light side, the dark side, and you saw that big payout at the end. That was a great time to hit. All right, guys, let me know what you think about the system. Let me know if it'd be something that you would play at a casino. If not, what would you play? Let me know some strategies down below. All right, guys, subscribe, like, comment, mark the point. Stay awesome.